Alright, so today and tonight, and probably till they come to murder me, I'm going to be cranking out as much content as possible to try to wake as many people up to the fact that God is pissed, and if this whole New World Order plan comes about, it's the end of the world, okay? The sun, aka Apollo, it's already having like massive solar flare activity right now. And they're calling them X flares, and X is a cross. NASA, this is just basically God saying, like, yo, everyone, my son will blow you all up. Like, literally, my son will blow you up if you don't repent. Will they, though? Will people repent? I don't know. Like, probably not. I was told if I restore balance, God will not destroy the world yet. I'd like a wife and kids. I'm not going to get to have that experience in heaven because that's a wrap then. So I'm really, really working diligently to try to wake people up. I don't think it's working, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how many people end up going to hell in the end. But let's go ahead and watch it on one of the Y-Files videos together. I haven't seen this myself. Let's check it out.
The Santa Lucia mountain range runs from Monterey and down the coast of California. For hundreds of years...
I say this on every one of the videos, just so everyone knows, down here in the bottom, the book, this is in every video, Inside the CIA, because, like, this dude's literally a CIA agent. He's got a bunch of NYPD stuff hanging up, too. I'm assuming he's a former New York cop that, you know, they found. He's a good-looking dude, got a nice-sounding voice. They probably recruited him to, you know, make videos and stuff. To try to, like, you know, confuse and confound people. But he does make really good content, you know. I won't lie. He does make super good content. I hope he repents. He seems like a cool guy.
Stories have been told about entities that keep watch over the mountains, sometimes seen out of the corner of the eye and always from a distance. Stare too long and they vanish. If you're ever hiking in the wilderness of Big Sur and feel like you're being watched, it's because you are. Nobody knows how long the Dark Watchers have been guarding the Santa Lucias, but stories go back to the Spanish settlers in the early 18th century. The Santa Lucia Mountains were the final obstacle before reaching the Pacific Ocean. And this was a dangerous climb and had to be done carefully. And as they slowly made their way through the mountains, the settlers reported seeing dark figures watching them, and they called them Los Vigilantes Oscuros.
Vigilante is another word for an anti-hero almost. I'm curious to know if these Dark Watchers are the good guys. People assume that it's like these beings of light that are always the good ones, but that isn't always the case. You know, in Eastern philosophy, black is considered the color of goodness. However, in the West, it's reversed, and you know, people associate light with goodness. They see, you know, they go to these rituals and they see these big balls of light and they're like, oh, that's godly. And then they have them sacrificing babies. It's like, really, you really think God requires baby sacrifices? Like, why would God need to create things to feed itself with? Okay, God doesn't need to eat. You know, it'd be literally God would be eating itself. It makes literally no sense. But some of the creations were cursed, and they have to feed. You know, they don't have to. It's like a test of their willpower. They could be cured from it, like the Buddha. He's the only one of them, it seems, that ever managed to you know, quell the beast inside of them, and you know, make it to heaven, to paradise. You know, he's one of the ascended masters. One of the 7 sages, you know, the 7 archangels, I believe. Don't quote me on this. I'm just going by what I think, but I tend to be pretty darn close to the truth, because I actually think about things. I don't just stumble through life and just believe whatever I'm told, because I've known from an early age that people in power maintain their power through lies. Okay. Remember, Satan can appear as an angel of light, okay?
Oh, you're Not gonna jump in with a translation?
It's literally the title of the episode.
I know, but usually...
It's time to take off the training wheel, sport. My back hurts from carrying you.
Years later, American settlers reported seeing the same thing. So whether Native American tribe, Spanish settler, or casual hiker, everyone who travels the area gets an anxious feeling that they're being silently observed. It happens in the late afternoon, right before dusk. In the hills, usually when it's hazy, and you feel eyes on you from somewhere. You turn around and see a dark figure about 10 feet tall. It has long, thin legs and arms. You can't see its face, except for maybe dimly glowing eyes. Some have described them as wearing wide-brimmed hats and cloaks. And just as your eyes adjust and your brain starts to make sense of what you're seeing, the figure vanishes. According to people who have seen the Dark Watchers, they are unsettling, but don't seem to be dangerous. They spend most of their time in the shadows of the forest, but they will come out if people are close. Legend says they're entities that follow travelers through the mountains.
I'm so stressed out.
They have excellent hearing and eyesight. And if they detect any type of technology like a phone or GPS, they won't appear. One famous person who saw...
Okay, right there, that's a big thing right there. People are like, why don't you film this stuff that you say you've seen on camera? They don't appear typically if you're filming. Like, you have to be very, very lucky to catch one of these things on camera. 2 times I've got them on film. Both times when I uploaded the footage to a YouTube account and a Facebook account, excuse me, I just ate dinner, both accounts were banned. And on top of that, girls that I had been dating, like like a few years ago when I first started looking into this stuff, all of a sudden I started having all these like hot girls half my age just showing up in my life, and just, I'm like, heck yeah, I'm all about this. And you know, I didn't realize it at the time, but you know, they were literally sent to, you know, get my stuff. The one girl, I don't understand, she was 19 years old. Somehow she completely obliterated all the data on my phone. Well, she stole my phone and obliterated all the data on the laptop I had. I'm pretty good with computers. I ran a bunch of forensic software. I could not find that data. It was gone. I have no idea how she did that. Linda, if you're watching this right now, you should probably repent. I'm pretty sure Willow did. You know, it said Romeo and Juliet spend, you know, are together in eternity. So I hope and pray that I get to see her again. Anyways, I don't want to think about that. Let's watch some more of the video. Yay.
All the Dark Watchers was the author John Steinbeck. In his story Flight, a character sees a dark figure staring at him from on top of a hill.
Abe looked suspiciously back every minute or so, and his eyes sought the tops of the ridges ahead. Once, on a white barren spur, he saw a black figure for a moment, but he looked quickly away, for it was one of the Dark Watchers. No one knew who the Watchers were, nor where they lived, but it was better to ignore them and never to show interest in them. They did not bother one who stayed.
Yeah, I will say this. I wish I never would have started looking into these things, but it was like I felt compelled by God that it was my mission to talk about these subjects, you know. And at first I thought I was losing my mind. Like, I'd never had thoughts like that before. And the deeper I dug and the more I pushed, the more weird crap started happening to me. The more people I had filming me on the street, people following me. I cannot leave my bedroom now without getting death threats now. Which is, I mean, this is like pretty much my fortress of solitude at this point. You know, because I don't feel safe outside of my room anymore, which is unfortunate, you know. And I don't even really feel safe here. However, I know that my location, I let everyone know my location, and I know there's another order out there that's they've contacted me a couple of times real subtly to let me know they're there, and I want them to know where I'm at, you know, in case something happens and they need to come get me. So hopefully that's still on the table. You know, I said some things about a certain someone that I regret because I was manipulated into saying them, and I apologize over and over for that. I am very sorry, brother.
On the trail and minded his own business.
The Dark Watchers were a bit of a family obsession for the Steinbecks. John Steinbeck's son Thomas wrote a book about them. His mother Olive actually interacted with them. She often told stories about her time as a young teacher. And to get to work, she would have to travel the dark woods of the mountains. She said she saw Dark Watchers several times, and she would leave gifts of flowers and food, and would receive gifts from the Watchers on her way home.
What gift would she get? They wouldn't kill her in her sleep.
No, the Dark Watchers would bring her flowers too.
Creepiest romance ever.
There have been sightings of Dark Watchers recently, and what's spooky is the descriptions are all very similar. I'll link you to a page where you can read a bunch of them, but here are a few of my favorites.
One day I was hiking the mountains where I lived near Blythe, California. As I went further on the trail, I felt like I was being watched. The hair on my arms stood up.
Leave a comment if you've ever felt like you were being watched.
I turned around, worried it was a mountain lion. At the top of the mountain, I saw a hooded human figure. I couldn't see its face. The hood and cloak looked tattered and ripped. It made no sound. I turned around and went back the way I came. I never went back to that area of the mountain range again. Dan, Phoenix, Arizona.
One day
Okay, that makes sense. I was out in Arizona and I seen so much weird crap out there, especially around Flagstaff, Sedona. I had a bunch of Navajo trying to kill me in Sedona. One of them come off a mountain and stuck a knife. First he pokes me with a coup stick, and then he sticks a knife up under my rib cage, and I just looked at him laughing. I was like, go for it, dude. Like, I don't care, kill me, whatever, I honestly don't think they can. I'm pretty sure that the Archangel Michael and Gabriel are watching over me, as crazy as that sounds. Maybe I am schizophrenic, who knows? I don't think I am, though. I know what I saw, let's just put it that way. I know what I've seen, I know what I've experienced, and I'm on a mission from God to save your soul.
friend and I were coming back from Los Angeles. We passed the San Luis Obispo Reservoir and saw something at the end of the mountain. It was a really big human figure, but it wasn't. It had a black cape like the Grim Reaper and holding a staff. It was in the daytime, so I knew it wasn't a person. These Dark Watchers are real. Elizabeth, San Mateo, California.
So what are the Dark Watchers? Well, nobody knows for sure, but there are a couple of theories. The first one is that it's a simple case of pareidolia. Pareidolia is the human tendency to perceive a specific image in a random visual pattern. Some cases of pareidolia can be pretty compelling. I mean, look at this.
Well, now that will haunt me in my dreams.
Or the bacon murder clown.
Yeah, you got any funny ones? These are awful.
A pigeon poops a self-portrait.
That's more like it.
The woman who looks like a Muppet. Or these peppers, which are apparently dying to get out. Once your brain makes the connection between that random image and a real-life object, you can't not see it. The Dark Watchers could be long shadows caused by trees that, because of pareidolia, people perceive as tall figures. Maybe this is the reason they're only seen at dawn or dusk. This is when shadows are the longest. What people perceive as a Grim Reaper's staff is just a branch, and the hats are just the tops of trees. But that doesn't explain the pictures of the Dark Watchers.
Well, we got pictures.
There's a phenomenon called the Brocken Spectre. It's named after the Brocken Peak in the Harz Mountains of Germany. And for hundreds of years, locals have reported seeing shadowy figures on the Brocken Peak. But what this actually is the shadow of a hiker or a mountain climber. What happens is, when the sun is directly behind the subject, a shadow is cast on the mountain mist below. And the specters are often surrounded by a rainbow halo. This rainbow effect is called a glory, and is caused by sunlight refracting off water droplets in the mist. And you can sometimes see this effect when you fly. If the conditions are right, you'll see the shadow of the plane surrounded by a glory. On the mountain, when the sun is low in the sky like dawn or dusk, the shadow can look huge. So could this be the Dark Watchers that people are seeing in the mountains, their own shadows?
Nope.
No,
I don't know.
They're definitely
The glories are pretty spectacular. You'd think that would have worked its way into the story. And a Brocken Spectre will stay there until the conditions change. But everyone who's claimed to see a Dark Watcher says they disappear very quickly. And skeptics have added other theories like hypoxia. Hiking's at elevation where there's less oxygen could be causing hallucinations. They also try to explain that feeling of being watched
that's gonna be so
is the
annoying,
result
that
of
air.
being exposed to
Let's find a
infrasound.
different one.
When wind rushes down the side of a mountain, it can sometimes create sound under 19
Oh,
hertz,
no.
just below human hearing.
Oh, no,
When
wrong
exposed to
one.
infrasound, especially at high amplitudes, many report feeling anxious, even fearful. Others have reported chills running down their spine. But these theories don't explain how people see Dark Watchers from a moving car. Well, I'm not saying they're real, but I will admit the scientific explanations are a little thin. I don't think we can put this one in the debunked column.
Will be still my heart.
And look, people who are new to the channel sometimes think that I'm a skeptic, set out to debunk their favorite urban legend, but that's absolutely not what I'm here to do.
No, I'm a CIA
I love
agent.
the legends as much as anyone.
He's
But
cool.
most of all,
I like
wanna
him.
know
I
the
hope he
truth.
repents.
Because if we can debunk 99% of these stories, doesn't that make the other 1% so much more fun? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is AJ, that's Hecklefish. This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, do me a favor and like, subscribe, comment, and share. That stuff really helps the channel.
Same
and
here.
Thanks to our patrons for
Like,
making
if you like
this
my
channel
stuff,
possible. If you'd like to support the Y-Files,
you know,
consider becoming a member on
help me.
Patreon
Help me
or
help
picking
you.
up some Y-Files
Tell people
merchandise.
about my
There are
channel.
links in the description.
We
I don't
got
think it's gonna be
Hecklefish
on much
t-shirts,
longer. I'm
Hecklefish
pretty
mugs,
sure they're gonna
Hecklefish
kill
beanie
me.
clothes, Hecklefish mouse pads,
soon.
Okay, they get
Like,
it.
I'm literally being
Hecklefish hoodies.
hunted by a werewolf.
And that's gonna do it.
As
Until next
crazy as
time,
that
be safe,
sounds, but-
be kind, and know that you
Because
are
he thinks I'm
appreciated.
someone else. he thinks I'm Jesus, but I'm not.